This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is Nalisha Taylor coming at you with another Get Right Sunday. Today's topic is friends versus family. So let's jump right into the video. A friend is a person attached to another by feelings of affection or personal regard. Family, a basic social unit consisting of parents and their children, considered as a group whether dwelling together or not, the traditional family. Any group of persons closely related to by blood. So keep in mind those two definitions as we go over our topic today. So we're going to discuss a few things. Issues that we have between family members and friends is that we fail to set boundaries. Now, setting the boundaries is for the relationships that we have with families and friends. Boundaries consist of many things, such as, for example, with family members. We fail to, want to jump in and get in other people's business, in other family members' business, and feel as if you got to say so. And sometimes that's not always the case. Yes, we want to be able to help one another and to care for one another, but you always have to remember that boundaries are set for a reason, and we as people have to set those boundaries. When it comes to friends, they also need boundaries, because sometimes friends can get so close that they feel like they can just do whatever because they're your friend. The thing with family members is that they get too comfortable. You think you can say just what you want to say to another family member without that person's feelings being hurt, when that's not always the case. Sometimes family members don't say anything because they don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're hurting theirs. So I think the main thing we should realize is just not to get too comfortable with one another. A real friend respects the boundaries. And this is where that's where, some people say, well, she's always picking her friend and telling her certain things. Well, because the friend respects the boundaries that were set place in the relationship. Sometimes the family members, they just don't care about the boundaries. Oh, I understand that you have them, but they don't want to go by them. So that's why, sometimes a real friend, they're generally going to respect those boundaries in place. Family members are a great support system. They really are. There's many instances in our lives, things we go through, that when we need family members right by our side. But again, that family member needs to know those boundaries, and they cannot get too comfortable. Friends sometimes are not always available. Let's just be honest. We all have our own lives, and sometimes you may want a friend there, but if that friend is off with his or her family, then they can always give you attention that you need at the time. So this reverts back to the family being a great support system. Friends sometimes, family believe that they have the right to dictate the way we run parts of our lives. And this is so true on many levels. For instance, picking who you date, or picking the church you go to, or picking what restaurant you eat at just because it's known for another family member to get there. Yes, it seems like nonsense because it's restaurants, but you will be surprised how many family members get mad over certain things in their family that are, it's a tradition, or we should do this and we should do that. But yes, family members, yet again, they want to run certain areas, and that's where it comes to those boundaries again. You have to set the boundaries in order for everyone to work out. Even dealing with your own children, sometimes mothers, grandmothers, they want to come in. We love them to death. They want to come in and try to tell you how to raise your children. And, you don't mean no harm, and you want that guidance, but you want to do it on your own terms. You want to set those boundaries and let her know that, hey, Mom, I appreciate your input, but this is how I'm going to run the raising of my children. If I come to you with advice, just be happy that I'm coming to you for that advice. Friends go along with whatever's fun because it makes you happy. Most of the time, a friend's like, oh, you want to do this? If it makes you happy, we're going to do this. That's where it comes to issue with your family again, because they're going to like, oh, you're always hanging with such and such and such and such. Well, you don't want to do the things I do. So my friend is like, most of the time, most friends have stuff in common. So again, it's just setting those boundaries. The main thing that you should make sure is that each party, friends and the family, make sure that they know to respect each other. Meaning, if the friend wants to come over and your mom may not like them, or your dad may not like them, or your sister may not like them, that's still your friend. For whatever reason, I feel as if, if the friend's not harming you in any kind of way, if you're still keeping your level head, you may have a friend just doing all kind of stuff. But if you choose to have that friend in your life, you make sure that those boundaries are set so that your family members know, hey, this is my friend. And be there for that friend, but don't get too caught up, if that makes sense. But let them know, hey, I understand your concern, but let me be the running of my friend. Because sometimes some family members like, oh, I'm going to talk to him. No, that's my friend. I will be the one to speak with them about a matter. You don't have to go to them. Sometimes family members and friends, they get in the issue, or it can be a friend that someone else dated, and you're like, well, don't to him. Well, how about we discuss this, maturely, and then respect each other's boundaries that are set. Both parties are needed in a person's life. We need friends. We need family members. And, the thing about it is, like I said, it's a relationship. Each person that you come in contact with, whether it's a friend or a family, it's building those relationships to help you manage life. Sometimes a friend is going to be more maybe someone that you need more in a situation, if that makes sense, than a family member. It doesn't mean that we're dismissing our family members. It just means that at this point in time, we just need a friend. We have that issue with boyfriends and girlfriends dating, husband and wives. We get it all the time. Something happened, you want to call home and tell your mom what happened, and if you do that, in a sense, you're putting all the bad things and the negative things about that person in the parent's ear. And I had to learn this myself. You're putting the bad things in the person's ear, so that parent or that family member is going to think bad about that friend. So you really have to be careful about what you speak. Again, like I spoke about last week, is governing your conversation. The main thing is to remember, when speaking about certain things that are going on in your life, there's only certain things you can tell certain people. You can tell your friends certain things, and you can tell your family members certain things. A friend sometimes, they keep secrets. They just do. So it's not that, a family member like, well, why you didn't tell me this? And I'm just not hearing it, because I didn't want you to know right then, but I knew it was safe with my friend. So, as we try to manage life, remember that friends and family are very important. We need them. Set those boundaries. Don't be afraid. Even I used to be afraid. I wouldn't want to set boundaries or let my family members know how I felt, because out of fear of they may reject me in a sense. But I had to come to the realization that I have boundaries for a reason. It makes me who I am, with my family and friends. So I'm going to leave you with a scripture, Psalms 40:4. Blessed is the man that make the Lord his trust, and respect not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. So, again, set boundaries. I am a Christian. I love serving the Lord, as I always say, and my boundaries center around that. I don't, really care who I make mad, because if I set my boundaries, that means you have to love and respect me for those boundaries. So don't be afraid to get your family member to decide if you feel like you're having an issue, or pull your friend to the side and you feel like you're having an issue. They're going to bump heads sometimes, but again, both parties have to respect you as being the middle person in the situation and know that you just want everybody to get along, which is not, now again, this is not always, they're not going to always agree. So be sure to remember that some things that your friend may agree with you with, your family member is totally not going to agree with you with. Say, for instance, the guy that you just started dating 3 weeks ago. Grandma or mom may be like, well, I don't trust him, and this, and that. But a friend may be like, well, I trust him, and maybe you should give it a try, this, and that. So you have to understand yet again, they're not going to agree, but they both should love you in general and respect what you're doing, and just make sure if they love you, the key thing that they will remember is to make sure you're safe, make sure that your well-being is taken care of, and make sure that you're happy, because you cannot please everyone. So remember to hit the notification and like my video, and I thank you for viewing. Have a blessed day.